Hey everyone, I'm Klloo. So, along with Melody, my other go-to hero to play is Shiyana. Now, I do believe there's a fairly decent stylization of the deck going around, right? Using Wager, Gold, and Betsy's headpiece to really do some damage with our new attack basis of, well, I don't actually have many here, but a lot lower cost, higher damage than what Shiyana usually has on offer. But you should know by now that's not really my cup of tea. I did build a version of the deck that I'm fairly happy with, but altogether this is the stylization that I really am interested in playing, and that is building up gold and then proccing Raise an Army to just beat down your opponent. So I'm testing against the bot like usual, and I've got a fairly decent setup turn 5. We've been blocking, we've been using cards, not that much though. Again, all the bot does is throw out a 2 damage attack, but I do think it is fairly decent and responsive and reactive to your opponent, and can definitely last longer than, say, Melody. But yeah, so we're running basically every form of gold generation we can, and we just want to build up a giant stack. We don't have any other spenders, so we don't have the headpiece. We don't even have Golden Sun. I cut that from the deck, right, because I don't want the gold spending, although it's not too bad of an option, right, because we're still going to generate gold afterwards. But anyway, let's play out this hand and see what exactly we can do. So nice and simple, all we want to do is play Raise an Army, and we can proc it for 5 and get 5 of our peeps on board now. So we have the Flail of Agony along with Fleetfoot Sandals, so that we can actually swing with all of them. So right, Flail of Agony, cost life, and then Fleetfoot Sandals to give it a go again. We also have Agility and Vigor from up the ante on the previous turn. Anything else going on? No. So we don't need the other Raise an Army. We don't really need Lead the Charge or Pummel. So all we're really doing this turn is swinging, proccing, and then going through all of... Actually, I forgot about that. We had Agility, so I didn't actually have to use the Fleetfoot Sandals. That's another thing to remember. But now we can swing 5 times for 3, so that's pretty nice damage, right? And they stay on board, which is really good. So if I had kept the Fleetfoot Sandals, we could actually do it 2 turns in a row. And that is probably a fairly decent payoff, because again, all I'm trying to really do is just test and make sure that the payoff is actually realistic. So we'll just play this out, right? Nice and simple. They don't have any of the illusion effects, right? So if your opponent wants to pick them off, they have to do it 1 by 1. So as long as we have a nice big stack of gold and get a few on board, it also helps us think life, which is really nice. But yeah, so we did a lot of damage that turn. We'll play a hand from scratch and see how we'd fare. Okay, so deck-wise, right? We're running the Aurum Aegis for our gold counter, plus temper. Flail of Agony to swing with. Crown of Dominion to start off with some gold. We also have a starting stake, right? If we burn through the gold through, say, cash in, we can use that to replenish. And we have all the other forms of gold generation, basically, that are on offer to anyone running just the generic aspects. Our attack basis is big bets. What else do we have? Wage gold. I think Soul Reaping and Shakedown are the only big ones. I got rid of, what was the ice called? Endless Winter, right? For Inline Strike and Command and Conquer, just because the cost basis to damage is definitely a lot better. We're still running Pummel. Pummel still has a lot of options to hit with, especially if we use, say, up the ante into it. But we'll play again. Oh, this was not against the robot. It's fine. Pretty sure I had set to private too. We didn't find anyone. But we will get back into proper games too. I'm still unpacking, setting up the house, but hopefully stream and play, some Shiyana and some Melody combo decks. But I just want to, get a feel for the hand. Generally, I just want to play the opening turns over and over again to see how the deck draws, how it feels, what needs to be cut. If we're drawing too many attacks, not enough reactions, if we're drawing not enough reactions, if we're not drawing enough cards to actually pay for our cards as well. And then also just the options we have to play through and sort of learn the deck. So we're picking Shiyana. I'm pretty sure for whatever reason it bugs out if you pick the practice dummy. I've had that happen a few times. So because it's turn 1, I'd probably just Arsenal something and hold off, right? No reason to give them the advantage. Command and Conquer doesn't have any payoff. Shakedown doesn't have any payoff. And Line Strike, we'd much rather combo it into something else. We'll pass. We'll probably just stash. Line Strike is probably the card we're most likely to play. So Line Strike to the Arsenal. Buzzsaw Trap, it's fine. We have Test of Strength. We can just block with the Aegis to start off. Test of Strength, I don't know, right? Our odds on drawing. I think you'd probably want to go for it. Is that the better option? Obviously, in a proper match, you'd probably block a little with the Aegis and block with Test of Strength, and then go into your turn probably in Line Strike into either Shakedown or Command and Conquer, depending on what they have. And we don't get the benefit of Shakedown, so Command and Conquer is probably what we're going to do, because they most likely stash something in their arsenal, right? And even give it the Goliath Gauntlet just to get across. We'll go like that for now. I do want to obviously focus on gold generation. We can do Line Strike. We'll put Shakedown probably to the bottom. Yeah. straight down to the bottom. We will go again. Right, open for 5. And then we can play Command and Conquer. Proc the Goliath Gauntlet if you want to. If you don't, probably better to save the combo with something that is trying to generate gold. Again, our whole objective is to build up gold stack and find Raise an Army. Death Strength can't go into the arsenal, unfortunately. Ooh, so we just want to skip that. Big bet and another line strike, so that is nice. We will also tunic up to pay for everything. So if we kept one card, so Test of Strength, we could go line strike into big bet, which is probably what you want to do, because again, you want the wager, so you want to try and thin out their hand with a starting attack, and then probably this time buff it with Goliath Gauntlet to try and push it through. So we'd probably not block with Test of Strength, just with the Aegis again for 1, sink some damage, and then use Test of Strength to afford our hand. Would be nice if we had something else, or even if I save the line strike again, maybe. Just thinking about all those options is what I really need to do a lot more, learn the deck rather than just jumping into it. We can play Inline Strike. We will get rid of Test of Strength this time. Pick go again. 5. We can go Goliath Gauntlet. Big bet. We could even also use the gold to try and get some more resources for big bet, right? If we draw into another blue, be happy days. Otherwise, this is decent itself, so we can wager, get back some more gold, also get some other tokens, and then try and go into a bigger hand again, which is nice. So here, what exactly would we do? Wager gold into up the ante, because it gets the +1 from its internal. We need 3/3, which we don't quite have, though, unfortunately. So even with Command and Conquer, performance bonus into it, maybe. Performance bonus is nice because it doesn't wager, right? So there's no upside to your opponent for blocking it. And then this is a reaction to. They'd probably most likely block it anyway. But because of our cost basis, we're probably doing a small turn. Probably just Command and Conquer off of performance bonus, stash the wage gold, and then try and go into up the ante. We are still just looking for the Raise an Army. This is the only issue with combo decks in Fab. There is just too little search, right? I can't even take Showtime because it's not Guardian. I can't take Wizard. All of the search cards in China, right, only work if you're in the mirror match, right? So to use the Guardian search cards, we need to be against Guardian, Wizard. You could put them on your sideboard and take them in those matchups, and they would definitely help the deck along. That's definitely a viable option. But just Command and Conquer. We only need 1, which is unfortunate too. Off performance bonus. Work the resources. You do. Arsenal the wage gold. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Be nice to up the ante, but what can you do? We don't have enough resources, correct? Yeah, we're in there too. So, wage gold is probably what we're doing. Pay for it with an up the ante. Now, we still don't have enough resources, do we? I need to play the one from hand, but even if Arsenal, but even if I do that, we sort of bricked a little here, right? I still wouldn't have enough to go for all the options. Not that we have to go for all the options. It would be nice. So, wage gold, wager, see how much they block, up the ante. We're only doing it for 2. Still get 3 modes, which is nice. So you definitely want to pick gold, buff, and probably the vigor. Agility, again, is nice if we have the Raise an Army or the minions on board, but since we don't, I think the resource generation is more impactful. Just again, our cost basis is a little not so great compared to Guardian or some of the other decks that run these heavy-ish attacks, because we don't really have anything that feeds into it. Definitely want up the ante back. We're at 4 gold, which is nice. We're still not finding Raise an Army, which is really bad. And then we have 3, money where your mouth is. So probably just dump some to block. Just get us a bot, it's not really a big deal. Here we'd spend a gold to cash in. In fact, we'd probably burn through a bunch of gold, right, trying to get something. We actually got Raise an Army, though I do like money where your mouth is into wage gold instead. Again, just try to get that little bit bigger of a stack. The safe thing to do against an actual opponent, obviously, would be to Raise an Army, swing Fleetfoot Sandals, and then swing with the minions for, what would that be, 1 plus their enchant token, and then 9 damage, which is still a nice-ish turn, but we gotta go big, right? Always gotta go big. So we will do... What are we gonna do? Can I play both? I can play both money where your mouth is. If you get this consistently to pay off in actual matches, God, that would be fantastic. But I don't think 12 quite does it. Otherwise, what we get... Why is there 2 stacks? I think we'd only get 3 gold, right? So we're up to 6. Yeah. And Arsenal Raise an Army. Don't worry about that. And then we just go into our turn. So we proc, raise an army, we grab all 6 minions, and then we can go ahead and swing. Right? Is there anything else for us to do? They have go again, so we could end up with attack, not big bet, because we just don't have the resources for it, I think. So that, Fleetfoot Sandals. Then we'd need, well, we could do the math, right? So we have 6 and 4, so we'd need 10. We have 3, 5, 6. So I could swing with a few of them and still go into big bet, which is probably the better thing to do, because you're more likely to actually get big bet off. So what did I just say? We have 3, we have 6. I need 4, so I can swing with 2 of them. Ditch the pummels. And then go into big bet. And that's a fairly decent turn, right? And we set up the minions on board, which is nice. We're starting to rack up gold again. There's 2 raising armies. But we're mainly running the 2 just to find 1 at all. Now gold we just spend, as usual, either cash in or cycle it with blues or yellows to actually find better cards. But we'll open the deck on Fabtcg, right? And we'll look at this, as well as the other version of Shiyana that I've built as well. So here we are. We've got War Maiden and Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit being the more wager style deck, probably the better competitive deck overall. Again, utilizing the Good Time Chaperone. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Right, Betsy's Helm to actually give you a gold spender with a very decent upside, right? The Might and Figure token, along with a lot more of a stronger basis of attacks, right? So Endless Winter, Big Bets, Golden Sun, Show No Mercy, all, you know, between 1 to 2 card attacks, right? Because you've got, like Soul Reaping, for instance. Even though it's 6 cost, you can just pay for it with a card, right? So it's 1 for 6. Something like Golden Sun or Big Bet or Endless Winter are most likely 2 for whatever their damage is, unless you have something like Tekla Core, in which case they become 1 for X, which is really good. But altogether, just all these cards in general, bringing down the average cost of playing Shiyana attacks is really fantastic. So this, I do think, is the better iteration of the deck, but it's not as fun, because again, I want a big payoff. I want something cool to do, like spend on, well, I forget what it's actually called. What is it called? Raise an Army. Should know. But yeah, so Raise an Army is definitely a cool payoff that I do want to go for, but this is probably the type of deck we'd end up slotting in. Same with Melody, same thing, right? So I've got the combo version that I personally like to play, but then there are definitely much more competitive ways to run the deck and still go for finalists, still go for big things, but just have a better, smoother time overall rather than just trying to high roll. But anyway, we'll go over Shiyana and our War Maiden deck. So very similar, but again, just tweaking the attack so that, again, they're working towards our goal of being able to play Raise an Army. So generating gold is a big thing. So swapping out a lot of the other attacks for wage gold. They still have a good cost basis, but the effect is obviously only catering towards gold. It's not like Endless Winter, where we've got some ability to stall our opponent for a turn. It's not like, what else? I got Golden Sun, where we have the ability to, again, push the damage through the overpower and spend a gold. But overall, it's still nice, right? It still feels like we can generate a decent chunk of gold. And both of the decks, as well with the Melody decks, will be in the description for anyone who's interested. And if you've got any thoughts or feedback, always love to hear it. I do have a huge maybe pile of swapping stuff in and out. I do kind of want to also make a Gambler's deck using the KO stuff, but the payoff's not too huge, right? You've only got Knucklehead once, basically, and you're just looking for ready to roll to try to high roll off of it for a turn, and it's only 1 turn, so it's not super impactful. But yeah, I am happy with the deck, and I'm looking forward to testing it in some games. Hope you enjoy. See ya.